love now and
Did you fall in love last night?
I love her.
Love was stronger than anything.
For the love.
Love.
And I love you more than anything.
There's still love. Love.
From the New York Times, I'm Anna Martin. This is Modern Love. Every week, we bring you stories about love, lust, heartbreak, all the messiness of human relationships. Today on the show, actor and singer Reneé Rapp. Reneé is most known for her role in the recent Tina Fey-produced musical Mean Girls. On Broadway and in the movie version, Reneé played Regina George, queen of the Mean Girls at school, known as the Plastics.
Oh my God, you are literally being so annoying.
You know the Plastics. They're rude, they're hot, they're well-dressed, and above all else, they are so much cooler than you.
So we never really do this, but
You're invited to eat lunch with us for the rest of the week.
that's okay.
On Wednesdays, we wear pink.
In real life, though, Reneé is open. She's warm. She's charmingly chaotic, and she is extremely candid. And her emotions are also on full display in her music.
How to make me hate Boston. It's not his fault that you don't love me.
Her first album, Snow Angel, looked at the intensity of heartbreak. Like loving someone so much, you end up writing off an entire city because they don't love you back, and that's where they live. In her new album, Bite Me, Reneé shows just how seriously she takes all her relationships, not just the romantic ones. She explores the intimacy and the pain that also exists in friendships. These might be platonic connections, she seems to say, but they're no less worthy of an emotional ballad.
Aaliyah said, be careful, girl, you don't really know her.
It makes sense, then, that she chose to read the modern love essay, This Is What Happens When Friends Fall in Love, by Sammy Sass. Like Reneé, the author of this essay has had to confront what it actually takes to sustain love in a friendship. Reneé Rapp, welcome to Modern Love.
Thank you.
Okay, we are relatively close in age. You're a 2000s baby, correct?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
a 90s baby.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Okay, so we can relate, I think, on a lot of
course.
things, cultural influences. I know you're a huge Beyonce fan.
Massively so.
You love Beyonce, but we also got to experience what came before, which is, of course, Destiny's Child. Are you also a Destiny's Child fan?
I mean, absolutely. Absolutely.
Like how massive?
It's kind of like probably one of the most like intimidating groups of people ever put together.
I agree
It's really,
with you.
it's really crazy.
What's your fave track?
I don't even know.
It's hard to choose.
To be honest, like I think like, I mean, their music is like super timeless, but like my favorite thing, even more so than their music, is just like their personalities. I've been watching all of their old like MTV Cribs stuff recently.
I don't think I've seen that.
You have to watch it. It's psycho.
Wait,
They're
what?
so funny and so pretty and so just like, I was like seeing like where they slept, whether it's real or not. I love seeing where someone sleeps.
It's so nice to see where someone sleeps.
I love it.
I do feel like we grew up in a bit of the era of the girl group Destiny's Child,
Of course.
Pussycat Dolls.
Of course.
Before us, a bit Spice Girls
Absolutely.
and Vogue. Do you feel like these groups influenced your idea of what it means to be friends with particularly other girls?
I don't know. To be honest, the way that it was always presented to me was like, oh, girl groups are so catty. Oh, this is so... Like, I never really, like, heard, outside of going back and, like, looking at all their stuff now, which I'm sure they were, like, incredible friends to each other because they're still friends to this day. But the only thing I ever really, like, heard conversations about were people being like, oh, girls are so hard to work with.
You're rolling your eyes for the audio version of this conversation.
Yeah.
So clearly, you don't feel this way anymore, it seems like.
No, all my best friends are like girls and like non-men. We're all so tight. I'm not like constantly
Trying
I don't
to grab
know.
the mic.
Yeah, I'm like, can we all just let's just fucking relax. Like that was just such a tired take. But like it was always the thing of like, oh, girl groups are so hard.
Totally.
Oh, friendships with women are so hard.
Yeah,
I was
the
like,
drama of it all.
what?
Like, tell me more about. So you're here to read a modern love essay that really at its core is about friendships, super close friendships, and you're teeing this up for us. Tell me about, in some specific ways, about the friendships in your lives. You've spoken about your best friend,
yeah.
Aaliyah. Do you want to focus there? Like, how did you two meet? What's the story there?
I mean, we met working on a TV show. Like that is literally how we met. And
For those who don't know, which TV show?
It was The Sex Lives of College Girls. We met working on that TV show, and we were like fast friends because we had so many of the same friends from doing musical theater. And she went to college at Michigan, which is like one of the most like prestigious musical theater schools. And I had friends that had gone there who I randomly had grown up with. So we had like all of this connective tissue that we just like had shit to talk about immediately. And also, I think what like really bonded us together was we were both so deeply scared. We were so deeply scared.
Why?
Because we were just like, we're gonna, like, why are we here?
Like on set, like on this project.
Like, we were like, wait, what are we doing? Like, we felt like we just had to be like nervous all the time and like worried we were gonna lose our jobs. And I was like, what am I doing acting?
So it was, I mean, this is such an overused kind of phrase, but it sounds like an imposter syndrome type.
Absolutely.
That was what it was. Okay. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so when you're with someone who's on the same, like there's an equal playing field and they're also feeling that way, yet I feel like she has every right to be there and is so entitled to like be in that space. I'm like, wait, why the fuck do you think that about yourself?
Is there a specific moment you can remember from those early days, like beginning that project, where you two helped each other through that fear?
I mean, every single day since I've known her. We sort of have always had this thing of like, we'll just like look at each other and we'll know exactly what the other person is thinking. And if like any bullshit happens, like we could be across the room and like she'll look at me, I'll look at her and be like, head to the side. Like,
you had a full conversation with no
full
words.
conversation with only eyes. Yeah.
Talking about these like early days of your friendship when you're forming it, people often talk about first impressions when it comes to romantic partners. Like when you saw her, what did you think? But I want to actually ask that about like, what was your first impression of Aaliyah? What struck you about her?
I was just like, she seems so sure of herself and she's so pretty. Like, I was like, wow. Like, I love, not even in a shallow way, I love a pretty face. And when I say a pretty face, I do mean a pretty face. But I also mean, like, I love, like, a big smile. And she has, like, the most beautiful smile and is just really sure of herself and is also really aware that there are things that are scaring her.
Well, I was just going to say, having her as kind of a foil for that experience seems really valuable.
Of course.
To you.
It was like a mirror. It was a mirror. It was also like she had worked in her life and had like gone to school and like done all of these things that like I couldn't, not only I like couldn't do, but I like she went to like the best musical theater school ever that like
I love how much you geek out on that because I didn't
get accepted to even pass my audition for that school. So I was like,
they're ruined that
incredible.
Day.
No, I did not get into like any school. So I was always like, holy shit. Like if you've made it past this point, like you had to work incredibly hard in ways that I can't even understand.
There's such a beautiful thing too with like the admiration between friends, like to look up
oh my God,
to a friend. Can I ask you too, you have a song on your upcoming album. It's called That's So Funny. And there's a lyric in it where you specifically reference, right, Aaliyah?
Yes.
And I feel like, we're used to people name dropping in songs about romantic love, but I think it's much rarer in songs about platonic love. Can you talk about that choice? Like, do you think friendship gets kind of short-shrifted in music?
I think that, okay, this is not, I was like, no, I don't want to, nah, I will. I think that when it comes to like like pop music, right? So much of music is inspired by like love and relationships, or like hate, which is basically just like a cover up for like the deep disappointment and love that you like actually feel / felt. So, you know, it's definitely a massive part of music. It will always be. It's the
romantic love, you mean?
Yeah, of course. It's the greatest thing in the world. But I also think like when you start to see like more just like queer people moving into like mainstream pop music especially, you start to see like the different dynamics that are not in heteronormative relationships, even when it comes to friendships. Like, I think my friendships are so much deeper with my queer friends than I've ever had in spaces in my life that were more like straight. And the girl that's so funny about is absolutely straight, but there are things about that person that I was like, damn, like our friendship, what it was, went so much deeper than just some like, oh yeah, we're girls and we key and like it's fine.
Yeah.
It was much deeper. And Aaliyah kind of just like was the number one witness to it and warned me so far in advance, like, hey, by the way, like she's literally plotting on you.
So let's just have you explain sort of the conceit of the song for people who maybe haven't heard it yet. Like what's going on in this song?
Well, it's like, it's got to be like one of my favorite songs.
It's a great one.
Thanks. I love it so much. I basically, a situation had happened. I essentially just got so deeply screwed by someone who I had really brought close to me in my life and looked up to and felt like was like a big sister to me. And she kind of claimed to be that and took on that role, and I really appreciated it because I just thought the world of her. And then slowly but surely started to see things in me that were qualities that made her insecure. I think I assume she got to a really miserable place in her life and decided that I was the root of all of her problems. And Aaliyah watched it happen and warned me, but I was like, it's all good, it's all good, it's all good. Until it was just like so not all good. And I was like, damn, this really actually did blow up.
It is a really, when you lay it out like that, I'm like, whoa, this song has two extremely divergent pictures of what friendship or close relationship can be, right? One that's deeply toxic and corrosive and secretive, and one that's like, Aaliyah's like, essentially how I'm reading it is like warning you, but then also like, I'll be here for you even when this shit hits the fan. And so you really do see these like very different models of what a friend can be.
And it was also something that I was so mad and sad about for such a long time, and like really was like all encompassing and derailed my life for a minute because the situation became so dire. I was like, I don't sleep a night without thinking about this. It was crazy.
Renee, that's really tough.
No,
I've had stuff like that before. Yeah.
It was insane. It was so insane.
And I want to be clear, like this relationship in this song with this person, that was a deep friendship? Was it? So it was like so really what you're talking too about is this remarkable pain of a friendship changing in ways you at first quite don't understand. And then of course this like deeply painful friend breakup, which is just, it can be equally, if not more, in my experience, as tragic as a romantic breakup.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has had something like that happen to them on some level. It doesn't have to be as extreme as what happened to me. I certainly hope not.
No, I hope not.
But like, yeah, you know, it's common. It's common. You know, friendships don't last forever, and that's okay. Some do, which is awesome. Yeah. But a lot are like relationships and are temporary and important for the time that they're there.
You wise woman.
I've just been fucked over too many times. That's all. I just have seen so many therapists.
You are talking about the intensity of queer friendships specifically.
Yes.
You're talking about relationships changing in ways that make the connection difficult to navigate. All of these are themes that are present in the essay you chose to read today.
Today is right. By the way, I've never loved anything that's ever happened more. Please don't edit that out. That was fucking stellar. That was amazing. That was literally amazing.
I said to gay.
Yeah, to gay.
To gay. Okay. The essay you're going to read today is by Sammy Sass. It's called This Is What Happens When Friends Fall in Love. Renee, you are making me need to hear you read this. Why don't you just go ahead? To gay. When we come back today, Renee reads an essay about two queer friends trying to define the terms of their relationship, and it is messy work. Stay with us.
This Is What Happens When Friends Fall in Love by Sammy Sass. Mira was dropping me off, and neither one of us wanted to say goodbye. In a July storm, we sat in our car listening to the rain. I played with the red matte lipstick she keeps in her cup holder, opened the mirror to put it on, and unscrewed the top where I found a long black hair wound around the inside of the tube. Holding it up between us, I said, "Dude, you may be a femme, but you are a sloppy one for sure." She laughed hard, leaning forward and covering her mouth. Then she calmed, suddenly serious, and said, "What if it's you?" I wasn't sure what she meant. She said, "What if we're here in 5 years and we're it for each other? Like, what if in 5 years we look at each other and realize it's time to date?" I said, "No." She said, what if in 5 years it's you and it's this friendship and maybe we date other people, but at the end of the day, it's you?" I smiled, imagining the two of us older than our mid-20s, still sitting below big trees in rainstorms, laughing and not wanting to get out of the car. She gazed ahead. "I'm so terrified of hurting you." I put down the lipstick and reached for her. "Mira, you are the safest person I have ever loved." She put her face in her hands and cried, and all I could see was her thick black hair, her jean jacket with the fierce love pin. That night was the first time Mira and I acknowledged just how much of our lives had molded around each other. Neither of us knew how to describe what we were. When someone asked if we were dating, I just said, "We're in love." Mira smiled when she heard the story. She made her profile picture the two of us laughing on a bench. And one day she said, "It's the best when I show up to parties and people ask me where you are." We spent evenings on my front porch reading articles aloud with titles such as "Marriage is Murder," "The Future of Queer," and "Against the Couple Form." We dreamed about what our lives could look like if we gave ourselves permission to be free from conventions. I was mortified at the thought of absorbing into a couple. And I knew it would be difficult, but I wanted to build a life of commitment where friendships mattered as much as romantic partnership. She emailed me a tweet from someone that said, "The best decisions I have ever made were made possible by my inability to invest in heterosexual narratives of love. The fact of being queer weirdly saved me from so much loneliness, even as it demographically made intimacy so much harder to find." I sent back a heart eye emoji and later, parked below my apartment windows on an early winter evening, Mira put her arm around my shoulders and said, "Sammy, you are my epicenter." And for a while I was. Mira picked me up for work every morning. I made her lunch on Sundays, and we made a beeline for each other in crowded rooms. She became number one on my speed dial, and we talked every day. When I thought I had bed bugs, she was the one I called in a panic. She came over with an acupressure mat, a flashlight, and played wave sounds from her iPhone. "I'm anxious," I said, crying on the floor. "I know," she said as she stood above me. For the first time, I admitted, just to myself, in a whisper, how good it felt to rely on someone. Mira pried me open, and slowly I trusted she would be there. Every time, solid. I started picturing my life with her always in it, whatever shape our relationship took, because we had insisted on the permission to let ourselves change. I expected the changes would be small and that she would be central. But then Mira told me about a woman she was going to date. This person wasn't like the cute queers Mira had dated during our friendship, all of whom were already dating someone else, were emotionally unavailable, or not nearly sounding enough for her. This was someone Mira had an actual, genuine crush on. She told me, like a confession, that she wanted romantic partnership and that she might even want it to be primary. The central thing she built her life around. And I wanted to shrivel that feeling inside until it atrophied and died. But I couldn't, so I strained to fit her vision of what she wanted. "Well, maybe we should date," I said. I mean, couldn't we make that work? Weren't we already in love and spending time together and talking every day? She shook her head and said, "I don't want to kiss you." And I had to admit that sometimes I imagine her lying next to me, and like a thought experiment, I pretend we're lovers. I picture us laughing, and I brush her hair behind her ear. I hold her hand and count the rings she wears. I feel how small she is, only 5 feet and skinny, and I say, "Tell me everything about your day." And she looks at me with bright eyes, but it stops there. I never kiss her. Just imagining it gives me a tight-wound feeling, and I know we're not the ones to do that with each other. So I was silent for a long time and then said, "The question for me, Mira, is, in the event of an apocalypse, whose house are you running to?" The tender part of me that had come to rely on her was screaming. I added in a terrified but certain voice, "I am running to you." And then the woman who had pried me open, who had told me in the same car and under the same windows that I was her epicenter, stared through the windshield and said coldly, "I don't believe in hierarchies." In the days afterward, I tried to talk myself out of feeling hurt. I convinced myself I was holding on too tightly, asking too much, being unreasonable. But the truth is, I wanted Mira to turn to me and hold back laughter while she said, "Of course I would run to you," as if it were the most obvious thing. People tell me, "Oh, this is normal," and this is what happens when friends fall in love. But I was completely unprepared. We were queer. We were supposed to refuse the primacy of romance and sex. At the least, we were supposed to run to each other in the apocalypse and invite whoever else needed to be there, including our lovers. And then all of us would wait together for the end times, dancing and buzzing each other's hair, eating ice cream, and bursting with gratitude for our beautiful, improbable friendships. But Mira wasn't choosing me. Worse, I was going to have to watch her choose someone else. And worse still, I couldn't rail against her decision because we had promised to let each other change. I didn't have a book or a podcast or a movie that reflected my story back at me. I felt totally alone, in a loss I had no words to describe. A loss not just of a person, but of a relationship and a life I so deeply wanted. I almost walked away as if this all had been an experiment and a terrible mistake, but I couldn't. Underneath the hurt that she would choose someone else and the embarrassment of having come to rely on her, I didn't want to give up on radical friendship. And I didn't want to give up on Mira. I would have to put her down by saying she gave in to the thing we reviled, or put myself down by saying my dreams are impossible. I expect too much. And none of that felt right. A few weeks after our apocalypse conversation, Mira and I went to a party together, and she cupped her hand around my ear. "I put you as my emergency contact," she said. Where it asked for a relationship, I wrote, "family." In that moment, under dimmed lights, I got the same beaming feeling I get every time she chooses me, and I saw that she doesn't want to lose me either. But something had shifted, and I didn't smile. This time, I was the one who sat rigid and stared ahead, because it wasn't enough. I was quiet, wondering how it all fit together, and I realized, not with relief, but with clarity, neither of us know how to do this.
We'll be right back. Okay, Renee, what hit you about that essay you just read?
I think so much. So much. Actually, okay, every single song on my album has to do with like the deep homoerotica of friendships, whether those turned romantic or were just romantic without physical intimacy, because I'm very close with my friends. Like, I value my friendships in the same way I value my partner. Like, you are all so deeply important to me, and if I lost one of you, it would be a fucking intense loss. Intense loss. And obviously, my girlfriend is like, that's my shorty forever. But like, my friends are romantic in their own way as well. So I felt that like this was just so like representative of how messy and difficult it is, and how like becoming like aware of something, okay, realize, but like becoming aware of like a situation with your friend that's like maybe not going to turn out the way you want it to, or being the friend on the other end and being like, this is not going to turn out the way you want it to, but love you, is equally really difficult for both people and happens so often. And also, this is just like the story of like gay girls. This is everything the L word was like, here's what's gonna happen, and they're fucking right. It's like, it's just so like, it's just like
this felt
very
true.
real.
And you said it before, like the messiness, the sort of blurring of boundaries that can occur specifically in a queer relationship. It's like that feeling, at least at the beginning of the essay, where you look at your friend and you're like, should we just date? You know what I mean? And it's kind of a joke, but it's kind of not.
Of course.
Have you ever had that experience?
Three people in my friend group, in my immediate friend group,
you had that experience.
Dated. Yeah. It's like gay friendships amongst, I think, like any identity, but specifically just from my experience amongst like gay girls or like queer people, are just so intense. They're just so intense. And kind of like I was saying, like, I love my girlfriend more than anything. She is like the pinnacle of, she's just like the most perfect person. I idolize her. I like think that she's perfect. And my friendships are relationships that I value just as much.
What's a moment recently that you felt that deep intimacy with a friend?
I mean, I felt like, God, we also hang out all the time, so it's like literally all the time, like
Give me
every
even
single time.
Yeah, like a specific moment.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so recently, like, my best friend and I were at a concert together, and it was like us and our girlfriends, and some of our other friends had come with us, and whatever. And I hadn't really like been seeing her.
Your girlfriend?
As much. No, one of my best friends.
Gotcha.
I hadn't been like seeing as much of her as I typically would. Like, my like friend group is like about 15 to 17 deep. Again, we're together every weekend, like probably Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like all sleeping at like our house, like, and then starting again the next day. It's the most fun you cannot even imagine. It's an ideal world. We like really like, we're like nothing fucking matters. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. You hadn't seen her for a bit.
Yeah, like we had been together, but we just been like going out, and she'd been traveling and whatever. And this is arguably like my best friend in our friend group, and her and we're so tethered together. And when I like wasn't seeing her, I was missing her, and she was missing me, and we were like consciously but subconsciously just kind of like being like, miss you, like whatever, and not really being like, I'm gonna look you in the eye and be like, I love you so much. I like need more from you, and I need more attention.
Yeah. What do you think was behind that? Not really articulating like the depth of feeling, or
I think both of us just love each other so much that we didn't want to put off the other one by feeling too like I need something from you. And so we internalized it as we were mad at each other. And so I had spoken about it with one of my like greatest friends who's not in our immediate friend group, but like knows all of us and is like pretty much embedded. And she's about 10 years older than me, and I just like trust her with my life. She's like my she's like my North Star lesbian. Like, she's perfect. And I was like, I don't know like what to do. I feel crazy. I feel like I've done something wrong. And she was like, you haven't done anything wrong. You and her have such a tight relationship. You just can like call her, by the way, and be like, I love you. I miss you. I really want attention from you. Did I do something wrong? I know that I didn't, but can you affirm me?
But can I just say, of course you can do that. But what a vulnerable thing to do, even
So
with a
vulnerable.
close friend, and perhaps even especially with a really close friend. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
you have this history to, I don't know. Yeah, you they're so important to you. You don't want to disrupt that balance, right?
No,
and
not
so
at all.
and so it's nerve-wracking.
And so I spoke to her, and then sure enough, we like went to the concert and like
Wait, Tara, what'd she
drunkenly-
say when you said like I'm feeling like I need you? Like, what did she say back to that?
She was like, of course I can give you attention. I love you. And I was like, oh, perfect. And then we talked about it at the concert, and kind of, we were drunk, so I don't remember all that much, but we were just kind of going back and forth being like, I love you so much, and I've missed you. I thought you were mad at me. And she was like, I thought you were mad at me. Like, we were supposed to get dinner and we didn't. And I was like, honey, I'm so flaky. That has nothing to do with you. I'm trying to remember to eat dinner. Like, I love you. All I want to do is spend time with you. Like, you're the greatest addition to my life that's been in the last couple years. Like, I would never, if anything you ever did upset me, I love you more than anything, that I would come up to you and be like, I'm upset.
Yeah.
But in reality, you didn't do anything.
Yeah. Those moments of, I'm like breathing easier because I've had my own moments of like conflict in a friendship that are like that, where both of you have the best intentions.
Totally.
But you're missing each other on some fundamental level. And then just when you say it out loud, it's such a like deep exhale. And then also I've had that like very fun kind of drug-like feeling where you're like, I love you so much. Just like
course.
holding your friend's face and saying, and it is so
Of course.
connective and necessary and important.
Oh, it's the best thing ever. Just this past Saturday, we're all like really tipsy in the backyard, and my friend Cassidy looks over at all of us, and this happens so often, starts crying and is like, I love you guys. I've never had a friend group like this in my life that's like so like gay, and like we're all so weird, and like we do the most obscene shit around each other, but we're all so cute and so sexy, and we're like crying. And she literally said, I wrote it down in my phone because I was like, this is belligerent. I love this so much. She was like, you know, you can just like be who you are, and like whoever that is, like that's who you are. And we were crying, laughing because she was being so genuine. But what the fuck was she
But it's
saying? It
basically-
was so
That's
cute.
a circular thing. You can be who you are, and whoever you are is who you
That's
are.
who you are.
But underneath,
Cass.
what is she saying? What I think she's articulating is
Yes.
actually something I sense, at least in the beginning part of this essay, which is like she feels safe
Yes,
with you, right?
exactly.
She feels
Exactly.
incredibly safe. The core of your friend group, it sounds like,
Yeah.
is this real safety.
You can't even imagine.
The end of this essay, at the end of this essay, the author says, what does she say? She says, neither of us know how to do this, right?
Yeah.
Neither of us know how to do this. And my read of that is that she feels like Mira and her don't know what the future will hold for their relationship. They don't know how to navigate the sort of the unknown of what's to come. And I guess, you know, you've discovered all these things about ways to make friendship work and be supportive in your life. And also there's many years of friendship ahead of you to go,
Totally.
right? Do you feel like you have a blueprint for friendship?
I don't think
do you know how to do this?
I don't think I have a blueprint, but I do know exactly what I want and what I need. And if I don't know, then I know how to ask for it.
Huh.
And ask for some forgiveness if I'm wrong or if I change.
Do you worry about your friendships changing as you get older?
No.
Really?
Not really. Because friendships just inherently do change. They just do. They just change. Even with Aaliyah, Aaliyah lives in New York now and I live in LA. So inherently our friendship will change. We see each other less. It just, I don't know. It always changes.
I am realizing, you said this group of friends is 15 to 17.
Yeah.
Which is we started off talking about girl groups, usually 3, 4, maybe 5.
Oh,
Y'all have a big girl in the broadest sense.
Of course. We talk every single day.
Okay, this is what I'm going to ask.
Yeah.
You have a group chat, I'm sure.
Multiple.
I imagine your phone's on Do Not Disturb or whatever. When you turn it back on, will you have a million group text chats from...
You can't even imagine. We always make this joke that when we're active in the group chat, it is the greatest thing ever. And when one of us are working and not doing it, it is so fucking annoying because the group chat's got 2,000 unreads. It's a novel.
Yeah. It literally is a novel. Maybe you come back and you read us a version of that group chat. Reneé Rapp, what fun. Thank you for coming into the studio today.
Thanks, man.
The Modern Love team is Amy Pearl, Christina Josa, Davis Land, Elisa Gutierrez, Emily Lang, Jen Poyant, Lynn Levy, Reva Goldberg, and Sarah Curtis. This episode was produced by Emily Lang. It was edited by Davis Land and Lynn Levy. This episode was mixed by Daniel Ramirez, with studio support from Maddie Masiello and Nick Pittman. Our video team is Brooke Minters, Sophie Erickson, and Alfredo Chiarappa. The Modern Love theme music is by Dan Powell. Original music in this episode by Carol Savaro, Dan Powell, and Rowan Nemisto. Special thanks to Mihima Chablani, Jeffrey Miranda, and Kathleen O'Brien. The Modern Love column is edited by Daniel Jones. Mia Lee is the editor of Modern Love Projects. If you'd like to submit an essay or a tiny love story to the New York Times, we have the instructions in our show notes. I'm Anna Martin. Thanks for listening.